Hello there. All right, so today is a lighter topic and it's more fun. We're going to talk about pleasure. We're going to talk about ways to add more pleasure or more joy to your day. Because here's the thing, when it comes to emotional eating and overeating, a lot of times we turn to food to fill a void, right? Especially when you look at eating out of boredom, right? Really eating out of, for any of the emotions. But a lot of times folks will use food to fill a void, right? Because something's missing. And a lot of times, and I know this was very true for me, there's not enough joy. There's not enough pleasure. And when you think about our culture, people are stressed out a lot, A lot of people have very busy and demanding jobs, or, they are at home taking care of family. People are busy. We have a very busy culture. And a lot of times what happens, and again, I know this was very true for me, we get so busy, especially if we're caregivers, right? We get so busy taking care of everybody else that we tend to neglect ourselves, right? We're not finding enough joy throughout our day. There's not enough pleasure. So this topic today is a fun one for me, and it's one that I use when I'm working with my private clients one-on-one. Is how do you add more pleasure to your day? How can you find more things that bring you joy and sprinkle them throughout your day? Because here's what I realized when I first started doing this work. I was a super stressed out workaholic. If you've been in the Facebook group for a while or you followed my emails, I've shared this story before, but super stressed out. I had a very demanding job. I worked in wireless telecommunications for 15 years, and that's a very stressful industry. It was a very stressful work environment, very high pressure. And I was a workaholic because I was a perfectionist, and, I worked my way up in management, and I just was all consumed with my work. And there was literally no pleasure. There was no joy. So here I was, like, super stressed out workaholic, eating, turning to food, to kind of like help with that stress, even though it wasn't helping with the stress, right? So when I first started to learn this work to unwind all of that and help me overcome emotional and stress eating, I started to explore and realize there's no real joy. And yeah, my kids were little and I love them to pieces and I have an amazing husband and all that is wonderful. But I didn't have any outlets except for food, and in those days, drinking. That's another story. We're talking about food. But I used to like to drink wine. So a lot of times, it wasn't uncommon to have wine in the evening with snacks and stuff like that. But again, and I don't really drink. I drink very rarely now, maybe a couple of times a year. Again, just because I have found other ways, to bring pleasure and joy into my life. It's not via food and alcohol, right? So I kind of think of this as like there's working through the emotions and feeling your feelings and using the hunger scale and practicing the pause and all that stuff. But this is kind of like another part of it where it's really like bringing more happiness into your world, bringing more things that feel good, sprinkling in that joy. So for today, really just think about ways that you can make your morning routine better. What's one thing you could do for yourself in the morning to make it more joyful, to make it better? Here's the thing, this doesn't have to be anything major. It doesn't have to cost any money. Think of things that could make your morning routine better. I had a client once who shared her way of making her morning routine better was to take a longer shower in the morning. So she just kind of extended her morning shower by a couple of minutes. And it was a way to just give her some additional space, and it felt really delicious. So that's what I mean. This doesn't have to be anything major. It doesn't have to cost you any money. It could be extending your shower time. It could be doing some morning writing in a journal. It could be listening to a favorite song as you're getting ready, maybe incorporating music into your morning routine. It could be reading a couple of pages of your favorite book before you get up and start getting ready. You name it. There's so many options. My mind just went blank there. You could decide you want to get up a little bit earlier to have a quiet cup of coffee or tea by yourself. You name it. Like, the sky's the limit. Anything. What's one thing you could do to make your morning routine more enjoyable, more pleasurable for you, right? And that's the key here. You're doing this for you. Same thing for the afternoon. I know back in the day working in an office, it was very common, to hit the snack machine and grab some chocolate in the afternoon, or if somebody had a bowl of candy at their desk, right? Okay, what's a way to bring some joy into your afternoon, whether you work or not? What's something you can do? Again, the same thing applies. If you work off site, if you're in an office building, maybe it's going for a quick walk. Maybe it's, again, putting in some earbuds and listening to a favorite song. Maybe it's having a book that you love to read and taking, a couple of minutes for yourself just to read a couple pages or a couple paragraphs. Think about it. Think about a way. One time I had a client who had just brought in a favorite plant and was able to put it at her desk and just make sure she took some time in the afternoon just to kind of notice it or look out the window or whatever. Again, do some writing, write about your day. Maybe adding pleasure to your day is practicing the hunger scale in the afternoon. See? Again, you get the idea here. So what you want to do for today is think about how you can add some pleasure to your morning routine, your afternoon, and your evening. All right? And then once you have those things and you know what you want to try it. Try it today. Try it tomorrow. Incorporate it into your day and just see what happens. Notice if you like it. Notice if it is bringing you joy and if it's making you feel happy. We want to sprinkle in some of that pleasure. Notice how it feels. If it feels good, keep doing it. If it doesn't feel good and it's really not your jam, that's okay. Pick something else. Try again. Rinse and repeat, right? Until you find what works for you. And you're going to want to mix this up, So if you choose something and it works for a while and then you notice it's kind of fallen flat, pick something else. There's tons of stuff out there. So that's what today is all about. Again, more fun, a little bit lighter, finding some things to sprinkle in more joy and pleasure into your daily routine so that you're not looking to fill the void with food. All right, have fun with this one, and I would love to hear what you've decided to choose. So please share away. Let me know. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.